hello, and welcome to the Wild Sound Actors podcast. I have Guðsteinn Fannar. I said that right. Pronounced
You
your
got it.
Guðsteinn Fannar. Perfect. From the beautiful film Close to You. I'm really excited to chat with you today. I'm always excited to chat about the films, but this one in particular has stuck with me. There's this beautiful sense of yearning throughout this kind of charged liminal space of that unknown before you begin to solidify what a relationship really is and that unknowing if the other person feels the same as you. Um, so I thought it was, yeah, a really beautiful one-sided meditation on that dive into someone else's mind. But before I go on about the film itself, I'd love to hear more about you. Um, reading a little bit about your journey. You've gone from honing your craft at Icelandic Film School to community theater, the Chekhov and the Stanislavski, among others. I would love you to guide us through this kind of acting arts pilgrimage to maybe where you are now.
Sure. It kind of all started with me wanting to copy my brother,
Uh,
my older brother, who is also an actor, an acting teacher here in
Amazing.
Iceland. Um, uh, yeah, like it just seemed very interesting to me.
Mhm.
Uh, but I've always been prone to exaggerate or be animated,
Yeah.
wanting to perform. I will admit that I do enjoy the attention. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of actors are somewhat attention starved,
Yes. Yes.
until they can find that kind of humbleness to kind of find grace in their craft. But no, I got on stage when I was 13 at my local community theater. I was just like jumping around hobbies. I was in the scouts, and I tried this and this sport, but like nothing was really like I didn't find my shelf until I went to the theater, really, shelf of life. And from there, it was just like trying to get into every single production that I could. Um, and then I don't recommend it, but I did drop out of essentially high school, like the Icelandic Junior College,
Oh, I like. Okay. Dedicated
because
to that.
yeah, I was really very dedicated to any kind of arts and crafts. I was doing other things among that. I was animating, and I was drawing and illustrating. I was doing some photography with my dad, who's a landscape photographer here
Oh, amazing.
back home, and I just knew that I wanted to do something creative, and I felt my creativity was being a bit like snuffed out
Yeah.
in the environment that I was in. Um, so I dropped out, and then I applied for film school after being like about half a year into my dropout era. uh, and I got in on the exception because I didn't have my secondary degree yet. But it's no secret that really isn't that big of an accolade. But it was a lot of fun, and I started there when I was 18. And you know, the most interesting thing there in film school, and actually, people that were kind of like honing this craft, and like you'd always heard about like methods and stuff.
Yes.
You always had heard about what actors do to prepare for a role,
Mhm.
and there's like you try to emulate that, from what you've kind of like heard from a glimpse, and then actually, seeing what that uh like ascertains to
Yeah.
in the actual room in the studio. It was like very, very mind opening to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like I came into the school with, a pretty much like I got this attitude.
You need that
And
delusion. If you're
yeah,
going to
yeah,
theater school, like you're into film school, you do need that belief in yourself.
absolutely. And I think my teachers were probably really used to that and were experts at like, kind of diffusing that illusion and kind of opening up, an avenue to come to like approach this from a place of of great care
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
um and that it's not all about you either.
Yeah.
I think I was in film school when I first heard the phrase like acting is reacting.
Yes.
The first time that I
Like,
heard like I have to listen to
oh,
other people, what?
novel idea. That's my thoughts and my
Yeah.
character. Yeah. It is a novel idea that what someone else says might affect me and might I might have an authentic response to it. Yeah.
Yes. Which is like, yeah, it was a very humbling experience. I think I came out of that school like really well equipped for, continue to kind of like uh, yeah, explore like exactly what is acting,
Yeah.
it's not being kind of the center of it all. It is I think as fragile as painting with watercolors.
Hmm.
Kind of it needs a lot of control. It needs a lot of um and it also needs a lot of creative impulses,
Yeah.
which you can only learn by doing it
Yeah.
as much as you can,
Yeah.
and then making mistakes also. That's I took myself too seriously back in the day, and if I felt something was off, I would really kind of beat myself up about it. But it is like a sketch artist's kind of path, or illustrator's path. Do a lot of sketches, and you'll go through sketchbooks of failed sketches,
Yeah.
and until you come to an illustration or a drawing that you know that everything that he did before led up to that.
Yeah.
um and I understand I'm maybe not talking a lot about what I learned at school.
No,
Honestly, it
I
was a
love the
lot.
analogy. It is just
Yeah.
the like they always talk about in like going to film class and is like going to the gym. Like an athlete just needs to work out those muscles over
Mm,
and over until there's that ease, and then you kind of move to the next challenge that you have to tone or control or
mm.
expand on. So no, I love the analogy. I think that is a lot of what you learn.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I mean, if going into whatever, methods one uses, like I don't really believe in like, you know, locking into one idea of how to do things. I kind of like to have like a tool chest,
Mm,
like mixed media, because
yeah,
if you're talking about other kind of crafts, it is like maybe this part would do better with using oils instead of paper mache or whatever.
yeah,
So I like to approach everything with kind of like what is this kind of what is this part kind of evoking right now,
yeah,
in terms of like if I'm approaching this with a completely empty slate, like do I feel like I want to do this like search for some sort of animalistic impulse? Do I want to write a whole backstory? Do I want to it is like what excites me to pick up and use, you
yeah,
know and that's what film school, what's learning all these different um schools of acting instead of just concentrating on the one.
Yeah.
Really, I think it's very beneficial because like I don't think you. I think if you set out to master one of them, you're actually going to find out that you can't.
Yeah. You almost need those other elements in there too to make a, I don't know, that have that toolkit, because certain scenarios method acting is not going to help you. Or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And the same like it's the same in singing actually. I feel like um because like I went into acting and like studying acting. I feel like almost emulating, someone else in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I feel the same thing happens to people who start to learn to sing is they emulate someone they like instead of finding their like true voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And their own instrument and their own, yeah, how their own experiences affect what they're
Mhm.
putting out there. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of the film that you're diving into, close to you, how did you approach this film? How did you find your character? What was your in for him?
So, well, I started just like meeting with the guys, Isak and
Mhm.
Óliver. Um, what kind of most excited me about the project was first just the cooperation of it all,
Mm,
like meeting them and then seeing what they wanted to do. They had an inspiration which they drew from to make this film, which they showed me what was, and um, that was intriguing. I liked the energy that they gave out. They seemed very determined, uh, and maybe also not taking themselves too seriously.
mm,
And I had this thought of like, man, like I would have loved being their age right now and
yeah.
like following them into this kind of, you know, this journey that they're doing. Um, I'm only so much older than them, but uh, it feels kind of nice, to kind of reach your hand uh, down and help other people up
Yeah.
to where you are.
Yeah, there's something
And
about that collaborative spirit that I don't know,
yeah,
makes you want to work
yeah,
hard for somebody to make it come to life.
yeah. And then I just had to ask them a bunch of questions like about the dialogue because it's only a narration.
Yes.
Um, and uh, it was it was it was kind of hard to exactly nail down kind of the motive to say those things.
Yeah.
um and kind of find some sort of like what the meaning behind it was. I think we went back and forth on whether like you know what kind of character he was in terms of like if is he being reasonable or not, is he actually acting very unfairly towards her.
Mm-hmm.
um Makka's character. And um I think it ended with me just kind of like I, maybe like simplifying a little bit,
Yeah.
uh you know finding that psychological gesture, PG, and Chekhov, as he calls it. I think I
Mm-hmm.
kind of just went into, where do I feel it in the body?
Ah, nice.
Um, because on set was completely different than when we actually recorded the lines. We did that
Mhm.
we did that after the fact.
Okay.
So I hadn't really had the chance to kind of like articulate the text beforehand.
Oh, that is
So
interesting.
yeah, so I had it in, I didn't have it in my ear, but what we did on set instead, if memory serves me correctly, is that we kind of just like discussed like the real inner time of the scenes that we were in. Like what have you been doing today?
Yeah.
What have been like how used are we to this routine? How like we just try to I feel like we just try to make it kind of like more real
Yeah.
instead of focusing on what was being said in the narration.
I think that came across too, because that chemistry did feel like there's history to it. Like there felt like a history and a real understanding between them. And that does
Mm.
take time. Like you don't get to that place of comfortability without time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what made that slight moment of, is there more to this? Is
Mm-hmm.
there feels so much more heightened.
Mm.
That juxtaposition. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think it would have been a disservice to try to nail down exactly what shot correlates to which line being spoken to, like doing that after the fact and actually just creating like these slices of these
Mhm.
characters live
Yeah.
with different contexts, made it seem more real.
It's how memories
And
work, right?
yes, exactly. And it's amazing that we did it in that one day also.
It was all one day.
It was one day.
Oh, that's
It
what I was
was
curious about.
it was the first day me and Maka met.
Wow. Okay.
I met the boys maybe like two or three times before that, and then we had been like been contacting each other on online. Um, but that was like one day from yeah, it was November even. So like we had to start driving just as the sun was rising at like 10 a.m. or something. So it's like really dark. So we only had like, a couple of hours of daylight, and had to compensate for that later with a bunch of lights and stuff. And I mean, but those guys trucked forward, just like very, very, very wholesome set also.
Mhm.
We had a big issue of heat and insulation
Okay.
because this was at this like pool. The building itself was very small, not very well insulated. In like I think like minus like 5-6
Yeah.
degrees Celsius.
A full day. Yeah.
It was a very cold day, and the building just like yeah, it was like being inside of a like an ice cream tub basically. It was like but there was one room because it was a swimming pool, so there was a like a machine room or a pipe room or whatever, like boiler room,
Yeah.
which we took places like two at a time because it was such a tight squeeze. And like standing there, warm up, go back outside, do a little bit of acting. Some
Much
people in the crew,
bonding that comes through.
yeah. It was like the weirdest green room you can imagine, like standing in front of somebody, like eating a eating a protein bar. Um, but like that is kind of the beauty and the charm also
Yeah.
uh, for these kind of like paid out of pocket indie productions. Is
Yeah.
like it's like you get used to it, you start to expect it, and once you can like let go of standards and just be there, make stuff with people, just like
Like art. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like kind of the heart of when I think about kids playing in the playground and like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and we all collaborate to make it happen. It's that feeling of like the rawness of
Hmm.
yeah, just creating, which is lovely to get to the heart of it. Yeah, maybe it's not the Hollywood standard with the craft services and so the private trailer, but it's still
Yeah,
they're still doing the thing, right?
yeah,
And the quality of
yes.
this film was like stunning. in terms of knowing that there was a day and that
Yeah.
you have all these chemistry exercises. Like I was like, oh, like it feels so palpable. I wonder what the preparations between them were and their backstories and if there's exercises.
Mm.
I kind of doubt that if you had the one
Yeah.
days.
I think it was mainly just it ran on good times, you know.
I like that.
And you know, I would have never held it, against them if like something wasn't working. They would ask me for more takes, and
Yeah.
like this was the first time doing it, the only time doing it. So it was like I wouldn't have held it against them if they wanted to like hone in on something. But it was like it was so easy going, and I'm like, nice. I think we give ourselves way too much pressure sometimes. Um, and I feel like also like I grew up like partially in an environment like theater environment where things were done pretty sternly sometimes. There was an ideal about like the director being the auteur, and there is sometimes a little bit maybe there was maybe an over um like an over articulation or an overstatement on like discipline.
Yes.
Like, things are just over disciplinary,
Yeah.
and it feels more like you're being controlled rather than you're being collaborated with.
Mhm.
um
Or being a
and
product rather than something that is, I don't know, in flux or
yeah, like I think the greatest director that I had like was Karl August Ulfsson. He's a renowned Icelandic uh, like comedian actor. He did like our version of SNL
oh,
here like
cool.
back in the day. So they did like these political satire sketches, like sketch show in
Okay.
the week. Um, well, we were doing the farce back home in Keflavik,
Cool.
and it was a first director that didn't have to get up on stage at one point and like do a big speech because like we only have a week
Tally the
left, and
truth.
like
Yeah.
everybody has to really
Come
fucking
on. Yeah.
yeah, pull up your boots, your pants and whatever, and they're like, it's like yeah, they have like this kind of like stomping tangent rants and like make you
I know
feel
those
really
well.
bad. Yeah, they make you feel really bad about yourself. And then yeah, like I had a director and where that didn't happen, and I was kind of amazed, like why didn't that have to be? And I think that kind of just stems from that, there was an open, like the doors were open, you could go both ways, kind of.
Yeah.
um like at the like after the preview, he he told us like right before stepping on stage to premiere the farce. He said, okay, just like everything that I said, everything that I told you guys, just let that go.
Okay.
Like, and we're like, okay, like not as sure, like not like he didn't really like articulated more than that, or like didn't add anything onto that. It was just like everything I told you, just let it go. And I took that as like go out, play.
Yeah.
Because yeah, we were talking about like how it feels like when you're in good sets, when you're on sets where uh everybody's figuring out these things together. It kind of
Yeah.
feels like you're playing with
Yes.
on the playground. And And I mean, they are called plays for a reason.
Yep.
Actors were once called players.
Yeah.
If you translate um, lake house to English, it's playhouse, which is also a word some people use. Acting school would be leiklistarskóli, or like play arts school, you know.
Oh, I love
So
that. I want to
it
call
is,
it that from now on. Instead of the theater. It's player.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. I think we're robbing ourselves a lot if we don't allow ourselves to play.
There's almost something about actors and the arts want to be seen as valid and as worthy of respect and of worthy of funding because there's never enough of it. So it's almost like there's this tightening and adhering by societal rules of what is important, I guess, by like a capitalist system, I suppose, of,
Mhm.
yeah, what are the serious, respectable things in life? So we start to tighten and
Mhm.
box things in and make a product rather than remembering, like, no, the arts are a radical act. The arts are a reminder of who we were or of what we want to be. And if we try to do the boxing in, and if we try to make it tight, and if we try to be a regime or an
Mhm.
army with our arts, it's not doing, it's not serving the purpose. It's no longer radical. It's just a kind of a function of the cogs. So yeah,
Mhm.
I've been contemplating that, like tightening up versus allowing the openness to play. And yeah, that gives me something to think about.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. Like, I think it's definitely, you know, this form of capitalizing on your talents that kind
Yeah.
of makes you more rigid.
Yeah.
Um, and I think like people also like kind of like I feel like there's like this assumption that you can't, if you're gonna be a serious actor, you can't take on certain roles.
Yeah.
Uh, and I feel that's so much, doohickey,
Yeah.
because I think you can play any part. When I was playing out with the stick when I was 6, I was playing, kings and assassins and thieves or knights or whatever, and I took that really seriously,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then I could also fool around, and I think it's the same with actors. I mean, you can play the serious parts,
Hmm.
and you're allowed to enjoy it, even though it's challenging.
Yeah.
Um, and it doesn't matter if it's a comedy or a tragedy. Like as long as I think, you know as long as it's something, true,
Yeah.
and you actually believe your own like approach,
Hmm.
um then then you're doing it right. And
Ah,
whatever, if it
living.
doesn't work, you can do it again.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's not the end of the
Another
world.
night, another take.
Yeah, yeah.
So, in terms of the film, when
Mm,
you finally saw it,
mm,
what were you thinking? You had a great process filming it, but of course, you're like, it's one day and then
yeah.
a recording session. Okay.
Hmm.
What do you think when you see it?
Man, it was like, just this all fits so well together.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like, these are, it's like salt and pepper. They're in a different kind of shakers, but they
Yeah.
they do complement each other.
Yeah.
Um, because we had an entirely different kind of, session when we recorded the voiceover,
Mm.
and that was more like we were tuning an instrument.
Mm.
Uh, because we sat in this, it was a weird kind of studio. It was like the podcast studio of a socialists party here, like downtown Reykjavik. It's like uh yeah. So we borrowed that space. And it was like we were in there, it's not a long film. Um it's in fact a very short film. So it's not a lot of dialogue. I think we were
Yeah.
in there for maybe like 30, 45 minutes,
Yeah.
something like that, or rather. And it was like we were all like whispering, like we were chatting on the way there. We chatted before we started, and then like everything kind of like slowed down, and things just became like a little bit more intimate. Just like it's like when you said that, can you maybe put a bit more like of this and that? And like we were like kind of all like kind of just like dissecting every single thing. Like, oh, when you said that, like there's no reason we had to whisper. We just all kind of got into
The
that kind of
moment,
like
yeah. That's
yeah.
that's sweet.
Uh, yeah. So, that and what we endured on that one day of shooting. It was like I watched that and I was like just super proud.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I could be I can fall into a critical self-critical hole like
Oh,
everybody
very easy.
in any field.
Yeah.
Um uh but there I was like just yeah, like I'm happy. I was very happy with the results. um I can't really explain it other than that, just being
Yeah.
proud.
That's really nice to get to that point because yeah, most
Mhm,
people watch things like this or have about 20 regrets. So
mhm,
that's lovely when it all comes together. And maybe that comes from also not overthinking the whole process.
mhm.
So that you can just be like, yeah, that's what we set out to do.
Yeah.
In terms of future projects, what is creative and exciting on the horizon for you?
So I am considering a move to Ireland.
Cool.
um I have some ongoing projects here at home
Mhm.
that are self-written, self-produced.
Cool.
Just take a little bit of time when you're doing things on your own.
Yes.
Um, I'm adapting a short story that I wrote
Nice.
called "Where Ancient Coins Come From," and me and a buddy of mine from choir are doing that together. He's never directed, so it's fun to see someone kind of like learning that process
Mm.
while and just giving them trust and like believing in them that like if they really want to do something, then why not give them a shot? I can always write another script and have someone else direct it. Uh, and yeah, besides that, I've been kind of looking forward to finishing my BA,
Nice.
and do that in Ireland,
Cool.
if I get the opportunity.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I'm mainly just trying to get my own projects off the ground
Yeah.
and not worry about it. You also have to live your freaking life,
Mhm.
and do take care of your body and eat well and go to therapy.
Mhm.
Those things are imperative and critical for actors as actually studying acting is,
Yes.
I think. um
Your instrument. So
yes,
if it's out of tune or it's, yeah,
you just
not
have to
the
respect
best.
yourself. You
Yeah.
just have to.
Yeah. Because others might not in the industry. And sometimes the world
Exactly.
doesn't. So you've got to be able to advocate for yourself. And yeah, it's hard to create and to play if you're feeling terrible or you're,
Hmm.
yeah.
No, precisely. So like, if anyone is listening who's like starting out and maybe feeling distraught, or have been feeling like they've been trying their hardest, uh maybe don't try as hard.
I like that.
Yeah.
Shake it
maybe
off a
maybe
little. Yeah.
yeah, maybe maybe focus that in other directions and find that there's happiness in much more than just
Yeah.
you know than this one thing, your many things,
Yes.
and those many things, they will come back to that one thing.
And they'll inform your work too, because
Exactly.
we're reflecting the world, then we need to live in the world or at least be a participant of the world. And
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
I like
because you
that.
yeah.
Words of wisdom here, all the way from Iceland to us.
Yeah, I don't know, I might fall back in 6 months and like
Oh yeah, the roller coaster is real.
yeah. Yeah.
We have not
um
met guru status, none of us, but
no, and I'm not done with 10,000 hours of mindfulness training.
oh, okay. You could have fooled me. Could have fooled me.
Yeah. I'm just on the pink cloud, for now. But no, I do sincerely, genuinely believe that there's just much more, and if you actually also just take care of that, it will come back
Yeah.
to what you love to do. It will come back. Um, it will come back to your playtime.
Yeah.
Will
Yeah.
inform your playtime.
Talk to a lot of people, especially a lot of like script writers and actors who did maybe like a traditional, like started out, loved it, but then did a traditional 9 to 5 job where there wasn't a lot of space to be an artist or creator. And then when they're retired, they're like, oh, I want to do this again. I want to
Mhm.
play again. And it is always there, but you have to kind of rediscover why you did it in the first place
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
than getting caught up in
Yeah, and then like that is with so many people in life, besides artists as well. Like, and I think you know when people are insecure about something, they want to know if there are celebrities that go through the same thing,
yeah.
and I think that's the comparison that is kind of like
Yes.
can be kind of toxic sometimes,
Yeah.
because like I look at my dad, who's 61, uh and he had been working 9 to 5 jobs almost his entire life. um you know always never owned property, had to kind of struggle, single dad.
Mhm.
um and then kind of out of nowhere, they're like the tank empties on that, and he actually starts to ask himself, only like a couple years ago, like, what is it that I want to do?
Yeah.
And he's working. He went from working, like he had like a basically like a tenure at like the security thing up at the airport,
Mhm.
and went from that to like work at the local library,
Oh,
and just had a complete new lease on life.
oh, lovely.
Like the pay sucks, but like he gets to go to the swimming pool for free and gets to be surrounded by books, which he
Oh,
loves all
the
day
dream.
long. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, nice. Like, it's never too late for that.
Oh,
No. So
lovely.
you can also, I think you're allowed, you know, as actors, aspiring, young or old or not sure,
Yeah.
uh, you know, you know, whether to continue or not. I say like, sure, don't give up. Um, I'll allow you to, you know,
Yeah.
hang up the towel for a bit.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of other things to do, and maybe a lot of other things you want to concentrate on too.
Yeah.
Like nobody's gonna take that away from you.
Oh, and
It's
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 not a
muscle memory.
failure. It's a pause.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because
Well,
there's so many great actors out there, and I think there's a lot of great actors out there that are afraid that if it's that, that the time has to be one long unbroken chain.
Mhm.
And I think you have to let go of that
Yeah.
and just,
Enjoy the
yeah,
journey a little bit.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. Well,
Mm.
I think there's a lot for people to gnaw on uh,
Mm.
listening onto this, but I just want to say a huge thank you for joining us today. That was
Yes.
such a great chat. And if people
Yeah.
haven't seen the film, go and see it. It will be on some of Wild Sound's different showcases. So check it out. And hopefully, we'll be hearing more from you. We can chat again.
Just thanks so much for inviting me, and have a lovely day.
Thank you.